Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Midgard Golf. And we're back out here playing this little two-ball scramble from the one-up tee boxes. Colin and I are at Vail Golf Club in Avon, Colorado. Just an absolutely gorgeous track up here. Just loving it. So, as we just hit 200 subscribers, the next video series at Beaver Creek, also up here in the Vail area, will be the hat giveaway video series. So you got to be subscribed, and then in that video series I'll say, some about what I want to see in the comments or whatnot to actually get your drawing entry, so check that out. And just to keep this video consistent with part one, I'm going to be narrating this the whole way. So yeah, I'm kind of getting mixed reviews on those of you guys that like the music when, it's kind of a somber round and I don't keep the native audio in it, or if I, if the audio is good natively, then of course I'm going to keep that. Or to narrate it the entire way, like I will do this one. So draw me some more comments in this one if you would. Let me know which way you guys like this better. But this one I'm going to narrate the whole way, just for consistency's sake. So this hole here, just 133 yards downhill, only playing about 105. So I'm grabbing the 56 to attack it here, and I think Colin's grabbing the 52. But you pretty much got room to miss everywhere except for drastically short, so I would not do that. Take enough club to get there, especially if the wind's in your face. Take that into account, because the wind is going to have a pretty serious impact all the way up here. That's for sure. So, yeah, stay out of those bunkers, and even if you do get in them, they're not that scary of bunkers. Either way, you'll be just fine. So, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. Alright, so Colin with the wedge in hand here. Really, just trying to stab this green. That's the only strategy. It's a par 3, right? So, yeah, just a great shot from Colin. He put it dead nuts straight. Looked really great in the air, but, the trees look kind of calm right now, but it was actually pretty windy. He landed that just a little bit short. So, but not too bad. And me here, I'm kind of coming out of it today. Trying not to do that, but, I'm certainly not taking the stance for it, am I? Yeah, I left mine out to the right a little bit. Kind of curved over there into, right next to somebody's backyard. So, not ideal, that's for sure. But here we are from Colin's shot anyway. So, just a little chip up on the green. Yeah, just a beautiful chip from Colin here. Yep, stabbed it. You can barely see it, he's hitting that orange ball, but it kind of rolled off to the right on him, and that's kind of a long putt. So knowing that, I'm like, okay, I'm aiming left a little bit here. So there we go to the left, and just barely bounced it up on the green. But not too bad. A little uphill putt from my shot there. It's kind of what we want. So from my putt here, or from my chip rather, calling up at bat first. And just an epic putt. Buries it to save that par. What an up and down. How about that? Ham and egg in it. Colin shot, my shot, then Colin shot. Gotta love it. It's like an Alex sandwich with Colin shots. Moving on to number 11. Let's check it out. Alright, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 11th hole. Another big par 5 on the day here. 530 yards for us, tipping out at 548. And the number 4 handicap on the course. And the last hole, actually, I forgot to mention, I think, was the number 18 handicap. So, yeah, number 10, easiest hole on the course. And rightfully so. So, yeah, this hole here, it's kind of got some treachery for you to deal with for a par 5 here. You kind of have to play it strategically. And, yeah, words to the wise here, you've got that little halfway house if you feel like a snack when you're coming up on number 11 here. So that's cool. But, it kind of plays straight out and then curves to the left a little bit for the initial fairway. Then you've got this little stream that sort of saws the entire hole in half. And then after that, it kind of curves back to the right to get up to the green. So, yeah, if you want to try to bomb one down there and have any kind of chance to get on into, I'd say stay kind of to the left or, up into the middle of the fairway. But if you get over to the right side of the fairway, you're not going to have a shot on the green into guaranteed. So yeah, I would take the cart path line and maybe fade it over a little bit from there. Or if you're hitting draws, then yeah, go to the right tree line and then hook it over nice and hard. But yeah, either way, I would stay to the left side of the fairway if you can. And then after that, you should have no problem getting over the little stream on your next shot, no matter what you're trying to do for your next shot, whether you're trying to green it or just get in position to put it on in 3. And then, yeah, after that, should be smooth sailing. So, yeah, you can play this hole pretty much any way you want. Try to 2-piece it or 3-piece it, whatever you like. So, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, so here we are, calling up at bat first, driver in hand. And, of course, he's probably looking for a fade here. Let's see what he does. Well, he kind of pulls it a little bit over to the right. Yeah, but not too shabby. Definitely playable. That's just fine. So, and me, I should have been aiming a little bit further left than I was, but I'm delusionally thinking that I'm going to pull off some kind of draw here, even though I haven't hit a draw like in the last several months. And of course I did not hit that draw. Instead, yeah, I just hit a little cut out there on the right tree line, which is definitely not where you want to be, but I'm okay over there. Not a huge deal. So here we are from my ball, off into the rough on the right side. No shot on the green. So, and I came up a bit short as well. Got hung up in this rough, so not ideal. But I'm just taking a 2-iron to get over the river here. And a beautiful 2-iron shot that was indeed. Yeah, just put it pretty much dead straight with like maybe 2 yards of fade on it, but right in the fairway up there. Be an easy shot on the green from there, or at least it should be. Alright, so Colin with the 3-wood in hand here. Yeah, I mean, risky club out of this thick of rough, that's for sure. But let's see what he does with it. Ooh, pretty good shot as well. He pulled it off to the right just a little bit, but not too shabby. But here we are from my ball, calling up a bat first. Got about 120 yards left or so. Maybe a little less. Calling to send one up there and sticks this green. You gotta love it. Alright, me with the wedge in hand. I think I've got a 56 in hand here. Yeah, I spun it kind of hard, but boom, on the green anyway. Yep, you gotta love it. Stabbing them. That's what you like to see. Money, baby. Alright, here we are. And you know what? I can't remember whose shot this was. I think this was Colin's shot. Yeah. It could have been my shot. That's about where I landed. But we both hit pretty good green stabbers here. So, yeah, obviously missed a little left there. See what I can do on this putt. Knowing what Colin did. And right at the hole, just barely missed it. Ah, you gotta hate it. But you know what? I'll never cry about a par. And there it is. Good 5 on the board, no blood. Let's check it out on number 12. Alright, ladies and gents, so here we are off to the 12th hole. Just a 368-yard par 4 we've got in front of us here, tipping out at 390. So, yeah, this hole, it plays pretty straight out for most of the way, and then it kind of curves to the right up there near the green. But you've got the river there next to you pretty much the whole way up the right side, so you obviously don't want to miss to the right. Just keep the ball left. I mean, you've got a pretty fair amount of room to miss left as well. But if you do keep it left, obviously you have to look out for that bunker that's kind of out there, sort of straight and left in the distance. And then after that, it's kind of a tricky green complex. There's a lot of bunkers to deal with, but I mean, nothing too crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's a fairly stock standard hole. I mean, outside of the stream off there to the right. So just be careful of that. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, so Colin up to bat first with the driver in hand. Let's see what he can do here. And he's probably looking for a fade or maybe a wrist line draw. But yeah, definitely starting it off on the left line. And that was a pretty darn good hit. He just barely didn't have the distance. He did take the wrist line draw, and he just barely bounced into the creek over there. Recoverable, but not a great place to hit from. So I'm taking driver, and I'm hitting nothing but fades today, so that's bad news for this hole. But yeah, so I'm just pulling it way over to the left, which I did, and faded it back in over that bunker off into the rough on the left side. So played the shot shape that I'm hitting, and yeah, ended up pretty well. I couldn't find my tee there because it kicked off back. So here we are in the rough. We got about 130 yards left here, so I got the gap wedge in hand. So here we are. Caught it a little heavy there, and that's going to come up just short of the bunker. Yep, right in front of it. So, yeah, that was the club for the yardage, but I didn't take into account the thickness of the rough. So Colin here with the, I think he's hitting a 52, or maybe a 48. He's got a lot of custom wedges in his bag, Colin does. Yeah, and he came up a little bit short as well. So, looks like we're chipping. So here we are from, I think this is Colin's ball, actually. A little less of the bunker that we have to play with. And he kind of shanks it off into the bunker. So, unfortunate. Colin doesn't do that a lot. He's usually brilliant from the short game, but every once in a while, well, you know, we can't hit them all perfectly. So me with the 60 degree, just to flop it up there, I'm just saying to myself, okay, no matter what, get on the screen. Give us a putt. Period. And I did it, so it's nice. But a long one it is to try to save this par. So yeah, Colin just barely misses it. Pretty decent speed, but yeah, maybe a little hammered. Alright, so obviously I want it to go right to left because, well, Colin just gave me the read. And I put it out to the right. Pretty darn good. And yeah, that'll be a gimme for bogey. No doubt about it. I think I really dignified this with a real putt. No. It's just like, alright. Colin doesn't either. Yeah, this is pretty much just putting for practice. It's like, oh god, I hit it with my purse. But we're taking the 5 anyway. On to number 13. Let's check it out. Alright, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 13th hole. Just another par 3, a little longer this time though, 181 yards from our tee boxes, tipping out at 187, and that over flat ground, so playing every yard of it. But yeah, I mean, this hole here, I don't know why, but the last time I came out here and this time I came out here, I just got in my own head for some reason on this course, and yeah, it didn't play this hole all that well. So it is what it is. It should be an easy hole. All you have to do is try to stab that green and, you know, do it with a shot that's going to miss left. But if all you're hitting is fades, then yeah, obviously that's a tough proposition. But just pick the right line for it. Pretty much is all. But apart from the trees off to the right side, there's really nothing to worry about here. You got pretty much the world to miss to the left. So just do that. Now, if you do miss to the left, however, you're going to have kind of a steep hill right next to the green there to chip over to get on that green. It'll be anything but flat. But yeah, and if you just barely miss right, if you could somehow pull off that shot and yeah, bounce it back onto the green from there, that's actually a really good play as well. So yeah, I'm saying, I mean, because draw, that's tough on this hole here, just because you're probably going off the green anyway, so you kind of want to play a fade, but then you got to be careful not to fade it too hard, and that's pretty much it. You got zero else to worry about on this hole. So if I was you, just, you know, take the number stick and try to play a fade if you can, or a dead straight shot, either way. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. I got the 8-iron in hand. Let's check it out. Alright, so Colin here with the hybrid in hand. And of course, yeah, for him, he's probably going for a bit of a draw. Let's see what he gets here. Oh, just kind of tops it a little bit. Doesn't really get all that far, just up really to the forward tee boxes. Unfortunate, but you know what? It's in play. It's alright. So, me. And man, looking at my feet now on camera, I'm like, gosh, you know, I was still set up to try to hit a draw, and I don't know why. That's just silly to try to do that. So yeah, I just carved mine right out into the trees, because that's the line that I was on. And yeah, just a stupid play on my part there. I shouldn't have gone on that line for that shape. But from Collins here, so here we are. Trying to get a long up and down now. Wedge in hand. Oh, and he just kind of carves one out there. Yeah, just flaps it a little bit, lift his hips out. So, me with the, what I got there? Yeah, I've got the 52 in hand. Alright, so pretty straight shot, just missed it a little bit to the right, obviously. And here we are. This is a dangerous place to chip from. This is really tough here. That hill's a lot steeper than you can probably tell on camera. So, I mean, I landed it the best way that I could. Almost hold it out. My hand's kind of in the way there, but I rolled like an inch away from the hole. But look how far that rolled out. Just brutal. I'm just going to get hung up just barely on the fringe there. And Colin to chip it. Oh, kind of caught it a little low. Little bladey. Kind of sent it off, so. Unfortunate, but hey, what can you do? So there's my ball, now that it's back in view. Kind of fell below this little dip there to where you couldn't see it. But, yeah, you kind of can. I don't know if I'd pay attention to where the camera is. Maybe keep it on plane. But yeah, you can kind of see my ball barely to the right of the stick there. Alright, so me up at bat first to try to drop this long putt here. And yeah, just hammered it a little bit, but pretty uphill, so well, I had to give it the juice. You know how it is. Well, it is what it is. So, Colin, let's see what he's got here with the flat stick. And pretty good. But yep, no cigar. So yeah, we're just saying, alright, yeah, that's good. Yeah, stop the bleeding there. That was close enough, but double on that one. You hate to see it, but moving on. Let's check it out on the next hole. Alright, ladies and gents, and here we are heading to the 14th hole. Just a 531-yard par 5 that tips out at 551 here. So, yep, uphill, dogleg right. Yeah, so probably plays just a bit longer than that 531 number, or that 551 if you're playing from the tips, or whatever number you're playing from. But not a whole lot to worry about in terms of hazard. You've got some bunker trouble, a whole lot of bunker trouble off to the right-hand side, and then way down there you've got some bunker trouble off to the left as well. Your main concern here is just going to be keeping it in play. You definitely don't want to be off to the trees on the left. The kind of trees and then housing off to the right, that's probably the better side miss, just because you're more likely to find your ball if you miss off to that direction. But if you do happen to cut it off there, then hopefully you're just hitting cuts, because you're going to have to hit another one to get around whatever trees or simply the shape of the hole in order to get up on the green from there. So there's that. But yeah, outside of that, not a whole lot. Once you get up to the green, you definitely don't want to be long. There's yeah, some treachery back there that you're not going to want to deal with, and I would absolutely keep it to the right of the green without a doubt. So, without further ado, driver in hand, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. Alright, Colin with the big D stick in hand right off the rip here, and he's looking for a bit of a draw from the lefty perspective here. See what I can do with this. Oh. Well, a little stiff. He kind of left it out to the right a little bit, but not that bad. Or, I mean, to the left. He left it out a little bit, but not that bad. There is a little bit of room right where he landed that kind of spurs off to the left there, so that's actually just fine. And I'm looking to just play my cut, you know? It's nice, but I'm actually kind of aimed like right down the middle of the fairway, so I cut it a little. Well, I actually put a really good cut on it. I just kind of sent it on the wrong line. Should have played the left line of the fairway, but it is what it is. So we actually couldn't find my ball, and this is from Collins up here. Not a bad shot though, but out of the rough, and we got a long way home. Just shanked his off to the left there. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I got the 2-iron in hand again. Just going to try to get as much distance as I possibly can, basically. Yeah, and not bad out of that thick stuff. Dead nut straight. I mean, yeah, you gotta love that right in the middle of the fairway. So that should be a pretty decently easy shot on the green from there. And here we are, about 130 left to get up on this green. So yeah, you can see here, like I was saying before, if you're gonna miss this green, you definitely want to miss it to the right. To the left is just death. It's not good. So pretty decent shot for me, but yeah, a little bit short. Not happy with that. Tired of seeing him coming up short and not hitting my numbers, man. Being injured is just no fun. So yep, Colin, pretty great shot up in there. Pulled it a little bit to the right, but still not bad. Well struck. All right. So from Colin's ball here, off to the bunker to the right. But I mean, the sand out here is, I dare say, really great. So if you're not a terrible sand player, then yeah, the traps out here are pretty easy to play out of, I would say. Yeah, not too fluffy, not too hard, kind of just right. Goldilocks zone sand traps. So mine's up there on the green. Pretty great sand shot from there. Gives good opportunity for an up and down par. See what Colin can do here. Well, just kind of hit it a little too light. And, yeah, well, it's all. Did not escape the bunker. So, from my ball, Colin up at bat first here. See if we can drain this one for us for our par attempt. Yeah, and just a little short there. Unfortunate, but, yep, it is what it is. So. Bogey no matter what right there. See if I can save the par for us. Yes, the pressure's on. Do it. Must make par. Can't go bogey double bogey. And there it is to save that par. You gotta love it. Stop the bleeding. Excellent. Moving on. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 15th hole. Kind of a short par 4 here, just 322 yards to get up on this green. But what it lacks in distance, it makes up for in kind of awkwardness. So as we get up here, you'll see that the landing area short is actually pretty inviting. It kind of bubbles out and it widens out a lot at probably around a 200-yard distance. But you really probably want to put it around a 230-yard distance and definitely keep it off to the right. But not so far right that you're going to get up in those trees off to the right. That's tricky. And that's what's going to give you a nice clear shot on this green where it'll be super narrow to get drastically uphill for your green attempt. And yeah, through some bushes there. So and over a little creek too. So the approach shot will be really pretty. But, I mean, obviously, the closer you get, the easier it'll get. So, anyway, I got a 5-iron in hand. Colin's taking the driver. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents. So, here we are with Colin up with the D-stick here. And he wants a bit of a draw, no doubt. Yeah, well, he definitely got it to go to the right. But, yeah, just kind of duck-hooked it over there into the trees. So I'm just trying to hit a floater out there with this here 5-iron. And there we go. Pretty solid shot there, straight down the kind of the left of the cart path, about 15 yards left of the cart path, but it curved over and hit the trees, and I got lucky and bounced back out here. Yeah, we thought that ball was gone, but lo and behold, here we are. So, yep, I got about a gap wedge left to get up on this green here. So I sent one, yeah, just sky high. And, yep, thinking I came up a little bit short there. So, just kind of floated it a little too high. Colin with the, I think he's got the 48 in hand here. So yeah, caught it pretty good. Compressed it and floated it pretty well. And got right up on that green. Great shot for Colin, no doubt. So here we are from Colin's ball for our birdie attempt. Been a minute since we had a birdie attempt. That's nice. So here we have it. Oh, almost perfect speed, but yeah, just a little off to the left there. So what can I do about this? Yeah, not too shabby. Get in there! Oh, just lipped it. Oh, you hate to see it. Almost a tweeter, but it is what it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyway, we're taking that par. That's a gimme. Moving on to the next hole. Let's check it out. Alright, ladies and gents, and here we are heading up to the 16th hole. So the scorecard has this hole at the number 8 handicap and the 15th, the last hole, as the number 2 handicap. So the last hole being the hardest hole on this 9. I kind of disagree with that. I think this hole is tougher than number 15, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's shorter. It's only 307 yards from our tee box and tipping out at 318. But the slope of this fairway is absolutely insane. I mean, it's like a 45-degree slope from left to right there, and it goes all the way down into this this stream there at the bottom of the hill. So, I mean, you just have to place one perfectly out there in order to keep that ball afloat. But, and after that, it's going to curve around even harder to get up on the green, where you're going to have to hit over that stream onto a plateaued green up there. So, yeah, just a challenging hole. You definitely want to iron this one to death, unless your driver happens to be relatively short. But a fade here, you got to be careful with that. That's the shape that you kind of want, because you can't really hit a draw off the left hill there, because you got mountain in your way, right? But if you fade it too hard, it's going to roll hard on down that hill. So you really have to be strategic about where you put your drive here. So I got the 2-iron in hand, and I'm going to go for a high fade over the far left line. And yeah, Colin has a driver in hand, and he's actually, yeah, got the advantage being a lefty, because he can kind of hug the side of the hill there and then hit a lefty fade, kind of a high spinner, up into that fairway and get stick that way. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. Okay, so like I said, 2-iron in hand for me, and I'm kind of aiming at that tallest tree just to the left of the fairway over there, and I'm going to try to fade it around that to bring it up in here. So, and I did exactly that. I hit it right over that tall tree there, put a beautiful fade on it, and brought it, yep, right back down into the rough, just above the fairway there. So, pretty decent shot. Indeed. Yeah, pretty much right where I was last time I played this hole in the 4-ball scramble a couple years ago. But Colin here, and of course he's also going for a fade, but he's kind of thinking about the hole in reverse here. Let's see what he does here. Yeah, that's one of the all-time best drives I've ever seen Colin hit, right there. He did exactly what he wanted there. He just hugged the mountain, played it over the right line, and faded it right back into the fairway. You'll see where this ended up anyway. Yeah, so all the way almost to the bottom of the hill. So wedge here for Colin. I turned the camera on a little late here. And yeah, he floated that one too, just came up a little short, just on the other side of the rock wall. It's safe, but yeah, not on the green. So I've got the 56 in hand here, just because I've been coming up short on everything. I'm like, all right, let me just make sure I get up there on this green. And I pulled it a little bit, got it up to the left, and got it about the true yardage for my 56 degrees. So I'm like, okay, there's my yardage. I hate it when your numbers are kind of shaky. It's just like, you can't trust anything. So here's from my ball, putting all the way back to the front of the green. This is about a 85-foot putt or something like that. 85, 90-foot putt. Just absolutely ridiculously long. You can't tell because of the teardrop off. It looks like the hole's much closer, but you'll see my ball will reappear. There it is. Yeah. So, yep. I put it a pretty long way off there. It just stopped just barely off the green. So, unfortunately, like Colin. Aim way, way, way to the left, bro. Like you're gonna putt it almost to our carts up there. So he's like, all right. So, oh boy, look at this shot. Watch this shot. This is incredible. I mean, all the way over there, takes the slope all the way back down to the hole. Oh gosh, oh, it just passes it. Oh man, this is brutal. And there's the ball there. But okay, so the ball didn't go in, right? But again, I mean, seriously. Like 85, 90 foot putt there. Absolutely insane length. And with, you know, dropping off of a tier with that hard of a break. I mean, that's a 20-foot break there. Easily, right? And look how close he put it. And he found the speed to perfection off that slope. I mean, that's one of the best putts of the trip, no doubt. I don't care that it didn't go in. I mean, that was incredibly difficult, and Colin just somehow found it and pulled it off. So that was just awesome. So here he is to try to make his 2-putt here. Get in there. Yep, not a problem. For the 4, baby. You gotta love it. Number 16, parred. Excellent. Moving on, number 17. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading up to the 17th hole. So I dare say this is probably the prettiest par 3 on the back 9, in my opinion. So, and the last hole is the hole that's actually on the scorecard here, or not on the scorecard. I'm sorry, but it's like their sort of, you know, signature hole in the fall when all these trees, all the aspens are changing to yellow and stuff like that. Really pretty hole. This number 16th is. But number 17 here, awesome par 3, 132 yards for us, tipping out at 141, and slightly downhill, but not as bad as number 10, not even close. But yeah, you've got the river kind of rushing next to you off to the left side, and then you've got the trees off to the right side. So it's, I mean, it's just a really beautiful natural scene here for this hole. But yeah, I mean, as you're looking up there from the tee box, it appears to you that it looks like you don't really have a whole lot of room to miss, and you'd be exactly right about that. There's just not a whole lot of room left or right to get up on this tee box, and you really don't want to miss it long either. I mean, it's a back-to-front green, and yeah, you don't want to be chipping off the back. That's for sure. You definitely would rather be chipping off the front. So if I was you guys, I mean, if you tend to miss short like I've been doing today, then I would play the yardage to the middle of the green and you know, hope it ends up front and kind of gets a little bit of rollout unless you tend to spin it hard. Yeah, and if you play it long, then play the front of the green number. That's for sure. If you happen to have a laser or a GPS, that'll tell you that. But if you have to miss, definitely miss to the right. That's the only way you're going to have a chance, because if you go left, then you're immediately going to fall off this sharp ledge off the green there and right into that stream. So don't miss left, faux show. Oh, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. I got the gap wedge in hand, and I think Colin's got the pitching wedge in hand. So let's give it a rip, see what we can do. Alright, so Colin up to bat first here with the trusty pitching wedge at a 43 degree for Colin. His pitching wedge is custom, it's not part of his iron set. And a pretty great shot at that. He pulled it a little bit to the right there and ended up a little short, caught it a little heavy. But yeah, not bad at all. Definitely the side you want to miss. So yeah, he played that one very safe. Me with the gappy here. Yep, I just skyrocketed it again, which is kind of what I was thinking what I was going to do. Because normally my gap wedge is about my 140, 145 club, but I've been coming up short and fading everything. So, you know, what are you going to do? All right, so here we are from my ball. Yep, calling up to bat first. Make this chip over this little baby hill here. And just kind of pulls it off to the right. So, yep, just barely off into the rough stuff there. Me to try to spin one on this green here. So I did spin it really well. Ended up right on the front of the green, and look at this. It just rolls all the way past the green. So I kind of caught the downslope of that hill a little bit. That's right in front of us, and just rolled it out. It's unfortunate. Alright, so here we are at Collins Ball. Trying to get a par from, yeah, a day and a half out here. Not ideal. We're not playing this hole well, that's for sure. But I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? It's a beautiful hole. When you have a bad hole, man, just take a minute, just take it in. You know, especially when you're in a course like this. Just try to appreciate the moment for something else. Stay positive out there, ladies and gents. That's my best advice. Don't get negative on yourself, then you'll spiral. Alright, so for the bogey attempt, can't really call this one a gimme. That's too far out, so we're taking serious putts at this. So that's unfortunate there for the miss. And Colin missed it too. So yep, another double bogey. You hate to see it. But on to 18. Let's check it out. Alright, ladies and gents, and here we are heading to the 18th hole. And finally, the final par 5 of our day out here. This back 9 is pretty cool out here. There's 3 par 5s, 3 par 3s, and 3 par 4s to make 36. Instead of the, you know, standard 2 par 5s, 2 par 3s, and everything else par 4. So I kind of like courses like that kind of mix it up a little bit. But this hole here, again, another one of the signature holes on this course. And you can kind of tell what you're in for as you're on this road here to get way up to this drastically elevated tee box here that plays about 250, 300 feet down, somewhere around there, to the fairway. So yeah, it's 521 for us and 532 from the tips. So I mean, we might as well be playing from the tips from where we are here. But yeah, and dogleg right, and I mean the hole plays downhill the entire way. So it actually probably plays even a bit shorter than that 521 number, or whatever number you happen to be playing at it. So as you can see, the landing area here is pretty inviting if you don't go to make the turn. But if you are going to try to pound it for all the way down there and make the turn and give yourself an angle to try to get on into, then obviously it narrows up quite a bit. You're going to have bunker trouble off to the left of the green once you get up there. But outside of that, you can miss you can miss a pretty fair ways out to the left. So if you can get an angle on it, in my opinion, no reason not to go for it in 2. That's for sure. And then the hillside there with the thick trees are going to follow you all the way up the right side, all the way to the hole. So, yep, try not to miss too hard to the right. But it is a pretty steep hill over there, and there's a chance that you could bounce out of it if you happen to hit something hard. So, I mean, it's a risky shot, but it's definitely hugging the shape of the hole if you do that. So, without further ado, both of us got driver in hand. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and Colin up at bat first. And he's looking for a lefty draw here, no doubt, following up the left line and bringing it back in from there. So, I mean, he definitely brought it around to the right, that's for sure. He just comes up a little bit short there, and yeah, didn't quite make the turn, but safely in play down there. So, not a terrible shot, just kind of a short one. So we'll have to lay up from his ball if we end up having to play that. But since he did give us a safe one, I'm just going for the ripper, and I'm going to try to, take the wrist line and cut it. So that's exactly what I did. I put it right down the middle of the fairway with some cut on it, and it cut right over there. It did make the distance to get the turn, in the hole, but all of us are kind of looking at it like, what are you gonna, what is that? I'm not sure if it stayed in or not. So this is a provisional here. I'm just like, okay, since we can't see it, I don't know what's gonna happen to it down here. So let me hit another shot and try to keep it left. And oh boy, yeah, I definitely snapped that one left. If you'll pay attention, I dropped my right leg there just to try to make sure that it came into the left. So, and I hit it a little too far left. So I actually lost that ball, the provisional, but I did not lose my first ball. So here's the first run. We just couldn't tell if it landed in the trees or not. So, yep, but lo and behold, here it is. And this one I did kind of leave out and pumped it a bit. I gotta stop doing that, man. Just brutal. Sucks. I'm just early extending my hips. That's the root cause of most of my problems. So that one's gone. But Colin here with the 3 wood, and he just pipes one dead nuts straight on his line. But he catches kind of a bad break on the bounce right there, and it ends up off to the bunker, off to the left. But just an absolutely dynamite ball contact from Colin there. So, out of the sand from Colin's shot here. And not a terrible out. So, yep, putting on his ball. Easy money. Let's see what I can do out of this bunker here. Colin's shaking off the sand on the shoes. Get off me! Like I said before, these bunkers are pretty nice. And here we are. And hit the flag stick. Oh, just... You can't get any more accurate than that. Just a little too powerful out of there. Might have hauled that out for an eagle if I'd had the right speed on it, but oh well. Hit the flag stick, ended up being a pretty good out anyway. And here we are for our birdie attempt. So, yep. Last hole of the day, no reason to rush this one. Just kind of actually reading it for a change. I don't really take a whole lot of time to read putts through most of the round. I'm more concerned about pace of play than I am with my score, if I'm being honest. Just so that I don't piss people off. And there it is. Bam! Nailed it! For that tweeter. You gotta love it. And thanks again, ladies and gents, for watching another episode of Midgard Golf. And remember, next time at Beaver Creek, we're going to be doing the hat giveaway. So smash that subscribe button and stay tuned for that. And until then, as always, have a great day. See ya.